afternoon and welcome into this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We are wrapping up our Fall Club Championships here in Esports Tower. Last week we had the first two games of the Grand Finals, so tonight we might have ourselves a champion, or maybe we'll have a Game 5 on the table. The Barracudas hold a 2-0 lead. I am Fish, joined alongside by Jacob Palmer here to call all the action. As I was saying, Jacob, last week the Barracudas jumped out to a 2-0 lead in our best-of-5 Grand Finals. They're looking to close it out on the sweep, but a couple of those games are pretty close, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Orcas have something to say about it here in Game 3.
Well, we were certainly, anything that the Orcas do was sort of a surprise because when we looked at the Barracudas roster first and foremost, we had so many veteran top players. You know, you got Prestige, we had Kinetic on the Barracudas. Now, Kinetic's actually going to be subbed out, I hear, for the Grand Finals, but still, I mean, the Barracudas have been a team that have been with Esports Tower for a long time. Some of the players playing on this team have been here the longest, have the most skill. So the Orcas really were looking for something to prove, in even just taking one game away from the Barracudas in this best of 5, and we'll see if they can do it.
You know, I mean, you said Prestige, you had Atlas, Avian, who's the full Valorant MVP. You mentioned Kinetic, as you said, Sunny Lee subbing in. And Sunny Lee had the hero play in Game 1 to win that one for the Barracudas. We started with 4 teams in our club championships. We had the Hammerheads, Barracudas, Octopus, and Orcas. That's how the bracket started. Both the Barracudas and Orcas pulled off 2-0 sweeps in those semifinals to advance to our best of 5 Grand Finals, where, again, we had Game 1 and 2 last week. The Barracudas won both of them. They're looking for the sweep here tonight in our aquatic showdown. While the Orcas looking to extend this series, find a way to a Game 4 that you never know what can happen once that momentum flips over to your side. Of course, as we hop in, both the Barracudas and the Orcas can always use Doc's keys to the game if they're looking to pick up a Game 3 victory, and that is to flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and click heads. Doc's keys are presented by Esports Tower. Smart Pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You can match up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, let's hop in to game number 3 on Ascent. The Barracudas go for the sweep. The Orcas looking to hold strong and extend the series. Who will get it done? Will we have a club champion after this, or will we have another game on our hands? We're about to find out as Game 3 gets ready to kick off.
I couldn't ask for a better stage to have it on, by the way. We have Ascent, a good old classic, always dependable, just like the Vitamin Shop, I'm told.
Vitamin Shop, everything a gamer could need. Check out that QR code now for some amazing product offers. As you said, always dependable, just like Ascent. Finds its way into everything. Feels like every Rumble ever has featured this map, and of course, it's a classic. And we'll see if that old familiarity will help out our teams.
You can all
get ready to kick things off.
It seems oftentimes, you know, with other classic maps, you know, you'll get strong opinions on a map, say like Bind or something like that, or maybe someone doesn't like how op heavy a map like Breeze is. But it seems Ascent is just a good all arounder that not too many people dislike intensely. So
I think Ascent kind of brings everything. I think you're right, Jacob.
Of course, it's been a while. Ascent has a great opportunity for wallbangs on B. I always like to see an Odin brought out. Seems like it's been forever since I've last seen that. In terms of the picks that we have here, some interesting picks brought out by the Orcas, bringing out the Astra and Neon.
Yeah, the Neon, usually a Kinetic staple for the Barracudas. Again, Kinetic not here, but wouldn't shock me if maybe the Barracudas kind of have a feeling of what Corkles is going to want to try and do on this Neon. As it does look like right now we're going to have a showdown in the mid lane as Corkles runs right into Atlas, who is ready for him. But Rio and Surface, oh my gosh, Jacob. We exchanged basically the whole team right in that mid.
They all fall down at once, and it's only one Barracuda left to try to grab the spike and whatever pride they have left and maybe try to push on toward A, although they're still focusing on to B. It's not going to work out. Burke picking up the last for the Orcas. Now they lead 1-0.
And they use the Barracudas' aggressiveness kind of against them. That's something that the Barracudas have done really all series. Last week, they were the aggressive team. They were making these aggressive peaks. And this time, the Orcas said, well, why not? Let's just shove mid ourselves and let's bring it out to a pistol fight. And they end up picking up a massive 4-1 exchange. And then they get Prestige at the very end. Now, I'm curious. We can't quite see what the Orcas went with. This like we got a Marshall. I saw somebody flash a Vandal for a little bit, but I think they ended up refunding it.
Looks like we got a bit of long range and short with the Orcas picking up a Judge alongside the Vandal, but Prestige is still going to do work on the Classic, as well as Memphi. Two go down for the Orcas, and Memphi moves back onto the point, continue holding, trying to peek around, close the door, isn't able to get the shot onto Corkles to take him out.
And with the drone able to get a little bit, Atlas there, he picked up the Marshall, he gets a wall bang, now Corkles goes down as well. Barracuda's just cashing in on all of the free guns they're able to pick up from the Orcas. It's now all down to Real. He does pick up one, and with the Sheriff, you never know. A couple of headshots here and there, Jacob. He can maybe turn this round. Promise he just doesn't quite know where he needs to look.
He is going to pick up a Stinger. At this point, though, it's not much use to save. He's going to throw out the Dart. Instant Reflex is going to take out Prestige. He picks up a double onto Atlas. There's just one left. They're both down on low help. Is going to try to break out a peek, bait out a peek with the defuse. The door, he's caught with a knife, though, at the wrong time. The spike goes off. Both of them are going to be taken out, and that goes over to the Barracudas on the spike detonation.
Yeah, it's a really good job by the Barracudas. Pushing forward. This time the Orcas' aggressiveness doesn't pay off, and then they cash in. A couple of Stingers, a Marshall there. But a great near clutch by Real, but Sonny Lee, the substitute, doing exactly what he needed to do. Waiting out just enough time so there is not a chance for Real. But we're tied now at 1-1, and this is going to be a very awkward round for the Orcas Econ.
No bonuses to be found here. Instead, they're going to have to find another win should they want to go to their full purchases. A little bit of early util being thrown out by Corkles as Barracudas focus around B lobby. Still haven't decided to choose to push mid or through Fish Market at this point. Shots being gingerly exchanged between the two teams. A shorty actually brought out by the Orcas. We'll see what they can do with that.
Corkles still waiting for Avian and Atlas. Also got a little bit of pressure mid. You can see the two Jets were staring at each other for a moment. Avian gonna get that alt orb, and looks like this might be the sign to go all push into B. Here comes the rotations out from the Orcas. The drone not able to find much of anything, as the smoke's gonna get him onto the just outside of the site. Oh, Memphi sees one and gets a great kill.
Going to be another one picked up. Prestige actually picking up a double, doing work for the Barracudas. Barracudas are going to be able to get their plant. Now just two left for the Orcas on the retake. Real is going to be able to take the shot onto Memphi, making it 2-3. Purpose facing a closed door. Dart thrown out. Not sure if that's necessarily going to pick up anyone at that angle. Throws out another shock dart. Oh, Surface has got the shorty, so he's trying to play this angle very close. See who plays first in this game of chicken.
Last player standing.
And it's going to be Prestige being able to beat him out. Now it's just one more. Atlas picks it up. And a convincing win for the Barracudas.
Yeah, nice strong play for the Barracudas. Actually showing a bit of patience here for the first time, Jake. Playing a little slow over towards B, then they finally decide, all right, now it's time to go. Once they saw that Atlas picked up the alt orb without any worries about a wall bang, and from there it was the Memphi Prestige show like we've basically seen in the first two games. Prestige picking up a triple kill for himself, and now this is where if you're the Orcas, things are going to get a little weird, right? Your Econ's going to be basically dead because he couldn't win a second round after losing the second round, and now you're just in a really awkward spot, it feels like.
Prestige is going to be using his ult, taking away any abilities from the Orcas. Looks like Barracuda's... Oh, he gets taken out with the op around the corner. Talk about your momentum being stopped in its tracks. Memphi's going to try to get it back, trading 1-for-1. As Surface goes down, Barracuda's still looking for their res. They're going to be able to pull it off as Memphi taking out Corkles in his double. That's going to be a successful plan. Seems like this op is still available for the Orcas, so it's a question of if they want to try to retake or save it.
Drone at least saw one person. Real's got that Odin you were talking about. Maybe going to look for some sprays. I think you save here if you're the Orcas.
I know,
I think you have...
You got an op and an Odin. That's a whole lot of credits.
The Odin is down, unfortunately. Burke has already ran away with the op. It looked like Resta maybe tried to see if someone was going to grab that Odin. Yeah, well, they did until Avian ate the op to the face, so that Odin is just cursed, apparently. But I like this call for the Orcas, even though they're going to go down 3-1.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, that's devastating!
Oh, can Prestige get there? I think... No, Prestige just left it on the ground.
I can hold an area pretty well
Interesting.
myself.
Prestige just left the op on the ground.
I can't.
We've seen Prestige, the skilled player that he can be. It would have definitely worked out in favor for him to pick up that op, but instead they're feeling more Odin heavy as Aiden is going to go with it.
And Avian, he said, okay, look, you killed me after I picked up the free one. Fine, I'll spend all my credits and I'll buy one myself. And this will be a big round for the Orcas, especially because, again, I think they're going to be forced to eco. Losing that op really hurt.
Oh, but they're going for B. That means this Sova can just hang out behind there and let that Odin rip. Although he's actually going to hold this angle. Real still has to use it. He gets blinded. Dash in from Memphi is going to take him out. Looks like the Barracuda's actually using the Odin on attack, excuse me. So they now move in, and this is going to set up for a really good post plan for them, with only 2 left from the Orcas.
Just get a nice kill onto Memphi. Tried to put the smoke down to stop Prestige, but wasn't enough. Those Surface will pick up a freebie. Maybe can get a gun here and make something happen. I mean, you do have Sunny Lee at low health. Atlas is also a little bit damaged as well, so a chance here for Service to maybe pull off the first big clutch and not let this game get away from the Orcas. 4-1 would feel devastating. There's the first, but he's only at 9 HP. He's got to get 2 plus the spike. Camera should see him.
Not only that, had to get rid of the tripwire too. They know where he is, blinds him. That's going to be another round for the Barracudas, going up to a 4-1 lead.
Now, I mean, what do you do if you're the Orcas? Because this looks like the first 2 games of the series. You have a nice round here and there, but for the most part, the Barracudas are the aggressive team. They're able to absolutely dominate, especially on attack. It's felt like in this grand finals, maybe defense was where the Orcas had thrived. So now I gotta wonder what you gotta do to stop this 3-round win streak or the 4-round win streak, excuse me, for the Barracudas right now.
There was definitely a lot of wind taken out of them when they bought the Op and the Odin in the same round and dropped both of them. Barracudas decided to pick up the Odin. So in this case, they're really behind in terms of credits, needing to find any sort of round as a total to get back in control.
Ooh, caught him in the reload. Great kill there. Burke does get flash, forced to dash away. Memphi has gotten one, though. Looks like Real, if that ult is actually able to pick up Avian. So it's a 3-on-3 now. Make that a 3-on-2 as Surf is able to get Memphi. And this could be the first break round for the Orcas here with their full buys.
Trying a bit of a wallbang through mid. Atlas, so he's going to be the one taken out by Rio. Now, Rio is detected, but it's not even going to matter for him. He picks up his triple, and the Orcas now fighting back.
One step closer.
Get that Odin as well. You can see Surface had it. Curious who he'll give it to because, I mean, Real's been popping off. I know usually the Sova's the Odin holder, but I feel like taking an AR out of Real's hands would be devastating. I mean, just look at this mid control. Picks up, I think, a triple kill this round. Yeah, he does, including the final 2. Very, very dominant performance. 9-3-1 so far on that Sova. He does have the Odin. That's interesting.
Right here.
Now, it is going to be the first time I got a little bit ahead of myself a few rounds back, thinking we're going to see the defensive Odin on B. Not going to see it there. Orcas have the right idea. I always love seeing that, but it's A that the Barracudas are deciding to push onto. There's only that one Astra there hanging up on Raptors, but that is smoked out. Knives brought out by the Orcas, but it's gonna go in tandem with the Zappy Fingers from Korkle. Surface picking up a double, just one left for the Barracudas. Can't use their knives to get out of this situation. They're gonna get charged, and almost a flawless for the Orcas. Very clean win has brought it back within just 1 round.
Yeah, fantastic use of the pair of ultimates there for the Orcas. The Knives and Zappy Fingers, I think, picked up 3 and had a fun little knife fight there between Memphi and Burke, and unfortunately none of them were able to land enough knives. And all of a sudden the Orcas starting to work their way back in it. Barracudas, though, I think Also, we're going for more of an eco round that time because anytime the first 2 rounds kind of go off schedule, Jacob, where the team that wins the pistol round doesn't win that second round, things get a little bit weird for both teams.
Natsova's going to have his location revealed, so he's going to toss a dart back in favor. Goes right into the lobby and is going to pick up a few pings already. Burke getting the first pick with that op. Memphi evening it up. Trade 1 for 1, 4-4 for these two teams.
See Real back there in the spawn. Has that Odin, of course, if he's looking for maybe a wallbang through mid. Saw a couple bullets come out. Sunny Lee trying to grab the spike, and he will take a couple of shots in the process. And Corkles is waiting over here with a pretty good line of sight on Dog. Do they have utility is the question, and they unfortunately do not. This would be a tough little entry here for the Barracudas onto Corkles as Memphi just goes dashing past. That'll create some space.
Everyone slowly rotating over towards A. Real with the Odin gets a wallbang onto Memphi. Surface is just waiting out these darts in the smoke. Is able to pick up a double. That's something Surface has been using quite their advantage. It seems they're quite comfortable in kind of playing in their own smokes and surprising the Barracudas with weird angles.
Yeah, I think they heard Avian jumping around the corner. And that kind of gave him the idea, because otherwise Avian was going to get a great flank onto Surface, but he waits it out. Those darts both barely missing. And all of a sudden, just like that, it is 4-4. The Orcas answering back. And now are kind of taking control here.
The Orcas are just rolling in money right now, having Op, Odin, and all of them just about have 7,000 credits, so they are all set for the next few rounds should anything go wrong. Meanwhile, the Barracudas are going to be held to half purchases this round. And the way that they're spreading themselves out, they lose this round, that's going to be another save they got to deal with.
I think they ended up going with, what, 3 ARs and a Guardian. Looks like a Spectre here for Prestige.
Aldrone is going to be...
very... Real looking for another wallbang with this Odin.
Oh,
He's got a little bit of damage there onto the Omen, but not much more.
only he knew. He's going to go for the reload. They're looking to take the peek around, throw out a bit of util. Knife is also... it looks like they were thinking about it, but... yeah, pushing on to E with that Odin, locking it down is no easy task. Memphi trying to create some space on toward A, but looks away at the wrong moment. Surface taking him out.
You could see just the way, what? He looks away, and then immediately snapped back. Like, wait a minute, that's a person. Surface with a great little lurk up. They got Sunny Lee behind them. Prestige is going to get the spike down as Burke takes out AV, and Atlas goes down as well. And here's Surface, same position as last time. And I don't think the Barracudas are going to have the numbers. Let's see if Sunny Lee can maybe find a cool...
Oh,
God, no. Oh,
That is
unfortunate.
Uncomfortable amount of screen time.
There's only so much you could do in that situation. You're strafing back and forth. This is my favorite, though. I'm just like, wait, what? What do you mean there's someone there?
Now the Orcas have turned things around. They are now in the lead, 5-4. We're getting pretty close to the midway marker. And a whole bunch of ultimates still left for the Barracudas to use. They haven't had a way to use the Neural Theft quite yet. They've been hanging on to that all this first round, so we'll see how many ultimates they manage to get off before they're forced to drop all of them at halfway.
They really just had a hard time pushing through, especially Burke. He's been fantastic on the op, though. He is taking quite a bit of spray damage. Already down to 57 HP. You can see, looking to see if anyone's going to push him with the op. Memphi's got a dash. Drone's going to come out. He just looked away and ooh, barely dodges that op shot as well.
Memphi going to take another peek. But Burke is waiting for him. He's going to smoke out the sideline. One shot thrown out by Burke, letting them know, hey, I'm still here. We go south of 1 minute. Barracuda's trying to clear out A again, almost, with the jiggle peak getting him. That's not going to be. Memphis still lives to fight another day at full health, no less. And a quick pick by Surface seems to be the main one to turn things around in favor of the Orcas these past few rounds.
Surface has just held down this A site. As I say that, though, he does get beacon out, though Corporal's picked up a kill. Burke gonna find one as well. So Burke will be taken out, so the op is down. It's a 3-on-2. There is that defending Killjoy if the Orcas need to use it for whatever reason to clear out this site. Probably won't have to, though, as Corkles picks up one. Memphis with a kill, trying to get a second. He does. It's a 1-on-1. The spike hasn't gone down yet, though. And there's that Killjoy, so Memphis got to get this kill, but he couldn't quite do it. Resta gets the kill, and the Orcas get the round.
At this point, now the best that the Orcas can hope for is going to be an 8-4 as we're 2 rounds away from mid-game. And despite the one teleport being used by the Barracudas, they still haven't found a way to use all the ultimates that they have. They still have 4 since the knives just came online for Memphis.
Placing swarm grenade.
I will say it is a nice... Even though they lost, getting that Killjoy out of the way in a 1-on-1 is definitely helpful for the Barracudas. Because now they only have to deal with the Astro Wall as an available ult for the Orcas. So they're going to have a way to maybe use a couple of these ults. The knives immediately popped here by Memphis. He's going to try and push over to that A side on Dog.
This is a tough corridor. They haven't had the best record with clearing out A because the Orcas Astra has just been holding it down so well. They're going to change their mind on that, now have to face up against mid-market. Moving up through and is able to dislodge Real with the Odin, take out the KJ turret as well. B is now looking a lot better for the Barracudas to move in on. The rotation's going to come out through the Orcas through their own spawn to try to prevent it.
They unfortunately couldn't use the Neural Theft on a couple of those kills they got. Memphis does pick up one, and there's the Hunter's Fury gonna come out. Memphis gonna pick up a third as he was in a great spot. Couldn't quite find the fourth, but it's put his team in an excellent spot here now in a 4-on-2. It does look like they are gonna have the Astro Wall go down here from Surface, and he's got his own Odin trying to spray. Sprays down Avian, but it's a 1-on-3.
Oh, and unfortunately caught with the Odin, and that extended animation time for the Odin is what's going to do him in. But overall, I like the play. I like the use of the Astro Roll here, completely taking out Boathouse as a factor pushing on to B. But just at this point, didn't have the manpower to overcome the Barracudas.
Yeah, once Memphis got that triple kill, it was just in a really tough spot for the Barracudas. And now, I mean, with how up and down this first half has been, 6-6 probably feels appropriate because it doesn't really feel like either team has really had a huge advantage. So if the Orcas can get a 7-5 lead, especially with how well they've been in these pistol rounds, that would be huge for them. And we'll see if the Neural Theft can finally be used. It's such a tough ult to use at times because it's so hard to find a corpse on a map like Ascent where usually you're getting kills way long down mid, maybe in B lobby with their spray. There's not always a great opportunity for Sunny Lee to use this ultimate.
Need that back.
Surface is smoked out A. That's where the Barracudas have pushed most of their interest. They're going to peek out the corner with the Owl Drone, not spot anybody as Surface is hiding behind Generator. Surface moves out to a more central location, still not spotted with that knife. Or the dart as well, I don't think. Barracuda's still pensive about A, and they're going to take the rotation back toward mid. Actually, all the way to B.
Avian kind of waiting. Avian's like, all right, Surface, if you try something, I'm going to be here this time.
A lot of rotation.
Red looks like not ready yet. The Orcas will rotate as well.
Avian gets the first pick with the Odin. They're all mowed down with the defensive Odin by the KJ. Orca's looking like they're going to pick this up. There's simply not enough time to plant that spike. Orca's take it away. 7-5 going into the half.
Switching sides.
Prestige trying his best there. Unfortunately, the time ended before he got those last 2 kills. 7-5. Maybe potentially, if you're the Orcas here, Jacob, you're looking at 9-5. If you can win the pistol round, actually win the second round, something they were unable to do when they were defending. And that would be huge for them. Again, the Barracudas have a 2-0 lead in the series right now. They're looking to close this out in the grand finals. But right now, the Orcas maybe looking for a game 4 after that first half, at least.
So far, in terms of pistol rounds, it's been even between these two teams at 1 apiece. So no real advantage can be given over in that regard as well. Almost everyone going for gun purchases. Only one with the small shields. I do think that's real here. They're still thinking about B, but just trying to wait out that initial dart from the Barracudas. Now going to throw out Owl.
Enemy tagged.
Oh, gets a spot and a dart as well, so that's going to be a ping gotten. Orca's having a lot of info on where the Barracudas are hunkering down, helping them in their attack. Takes them out with a headshot with the Sheriff. It's a trade 1-for-1. Now 4v4, but unfortunately for the Barracudas, those 4 are in mid. They have to rotate around, giving enough time for the Orcas to plant. You would think, or they're just going to wait for them all to come to point and maybe just take them out via eliminations.
Picking up 1. He's at 3 HP.
Oh my goodness.
Real's at 5 HP, and I don't think the I don't think Surface is much better. I mean, Surface is at 9. These are all single-digit HPs.
Avians.
For the Barracudas, 3 shots and you win this round.
Avian.
There's 1.
Oh, there is one. Just any sort of, yeah. Just need to look at them mean and they'll fall. I was gonna say, it makes Avian look like he was rolling in it with 44 HP comparatively.
Slight gust of wind would have knocked out most of them, and that late rotation pays off for the Barracudas. They make it 7-6, and now, is that? Okay, thank you, Avian. I was like, are you just going to round 2 Odin here? But he ends up going for the full shields in the Guardian. Thought maybe for a second we were going to have the meme in the grand final, but his teammates were like, hold on, let's calm down. It's not 12-0, it's 7-6.
Yeah, that's not something you usually want to pull off. You'll feel the ire of your teammates if you do that. Meanwhile, Coracle's going to take the first few initial peeks. They want to try B again. They were able to take it pretty well first time. Oh, but just charges right through Cypher's smoke, and that's going to make him pay. There, KJ's able to pick up 1 ultimate.
Appropriate response to turn tail and run away from B side after that. The Ares, the budget Odin for Avian, working out pretty well.
Ooh, finds a whole bunch! Ooh. My goodness, a 3-on-1 is not going to matter for Memphi. He's able to take out 2 of them.
Real's just trying to run away at this point. Maybe try and get at least 1 exit frag here, but in a 4-on-1 with 16 HP.
Oh, well, he's going for the knife, and they're going to get it.
Sometimes you get punished, and they only lost 1 this round.
But it all fell apart. I mean, that was such an aggressive dash by the Neon there through the Cypher smoke. But it seems, you know, you get the audio cue when that Cypher smoke has gone through, so it was pretty easy for him to predict that, hey, this Neon is just charging through, and from there, the round was just in a really difficult position for the Orcas to get it back.
Back to a tie, 7-7. We'll see who can break the tie here in round 15. Burke.
Ooh.
The dash didn't even matter. Burke picks up a kill, and
Spike.
I have no idea. The Barracudas have won 2 in a row, Jacob, and I've so far seen a Marshall and a pistol get a kill. Not sure what's going on with this bonus round.
Well, the Vandals certainly are going to come in handy for the Orcas. They've already picked up 2. Going to wait for the rotation out. KJ is going to pick him up before Real can get to it. Real's going to throw out the shock dart. It's well placed. Yet Atlas throws out another shock dart. It's just Avian left. He's running away with 30 health. And a sneaky angle to try to Hail Mary this.
Oh, I don't think he saw him on the drone.
But at this point, it looks more like a save here just for the Ares. Maybe just trying to pick up an exit frag. At this point does not want to try to retake this whatsoever.
Looks like he just wants to take the death. And the Orcas strike first. Unfortunately, when you dash, your hitbox is still behind you until the dash ends, and Burke makes quick work of Memphi with that dash. And now we'll get the full AR, though there is a Spectre thrown in there for Surface, it looks like.
Barracuda's back in a position that allowed the Orcas to kind of run away with it for multiple rounds. Once the Orcas have forced the Barracudas into kind of these half purchases, hard ecos, the Orcas can really get a win streak going. We'll see if that's the case here in the second half.
Ooh, Arresta does get into that little cubby. Nice little jump peek there from Prestige. The Alt Orb tried to get picked up, though. Memphi was down in the corner. He'll smoke himself off, but Burke will still pick up the kill, and that'll open up the Alt Orb for Arresta, and that's exactly what they wanted, because there's the Killjoy.
Orcals gets a pick on to Prestige, 5-3, and running away with good reason. The Orcas are on a tear, moving forward. No one looks going to get caught by the Killjoy, however, but it's enough time for the Orcas to plant.
There are a couple of low health bars on the Orcas. You can see both the Killjoy and Burke in the red. So even though it's a 5-on-3, health-wise, it's pretty even. There's one below them as Avian's going to pick up one. Sunny Lee gets the second, and all of a sudden it's a 3-on-3.
Swarm grenade activated by the KJ to keep him off of the spike. They're going to try to bait out the defuse, or maybe just try to half-stick it, but those swarm grenades keeping him at bay. This Odin is coming in really handy against so many low-health members of the Orcas. Gets him on the defuse, and Surface clutches it, 9-7.
Stay away from A-Site when Surface is there. He made an absolute terror of it when he was defending, and now on attack, nothing different. You said a great job of these swarm grenades, just stopping the defuse. And then at the very end, Surface picks up the last two. Would have been tight even if they had killed him, but it doesn't matter. He gets a nice double kill, but he does go down to the spike at the very end.
Orcas have a chance to push this up into double digits. But they're all pretty well spread out, so not committing to any sort of point quite yet. Gonna throw out a bit of util first, get a feel for the situation. Memphi hanging out B main. Peek around is gonna take some health off of him, take all of his shields away. Prestige waiting in guard, and Burke is looking to try to peek him through. Has the dash to get away, though. Takes him out. That's going to open up A as an option for the Orcas.
Real's going to pick up a second on to Memphi. He's going to need a really clutch Hunter's Fury here from Avian, I think, for the Barracudas to avoid going down 10-7 at this point, as they're already on the spike. Ooh, teleport there from Omen. Confused Burke just enough to get away. He's going to dash up and try and find him, but certainly play it down as Corkles gets a pair, and it's a 5-on-1 for Atlas with the Marshall.
And now the Orcas are just going to collapse onto this Omen.
Woo!
Takes him out with the Stinger. Now 10-7. At this point,
Hey, I mean, do a little eco damage there, I guess.
Need a drop.
At this point, you have to wonder what is the main, where the full buy is going to come through. They got to pick one of these 3 rounds that's left for them to go full buy and try to take this back, because if they keep going onto these half purchases or full ecos, they're gonna try that with the operator now. For Memphi, he was thinking about it, instead gonna go for the Odin. Avian forced though to stick with the classic, so it's almost a full purchase for the Barracudas.
It did look like, I think he ended up tossing the Odin to Avian, and he's just gonna, I think Memphi's just gonna pop the knives here. I think that's gonna be their game plan.
Lots of ults ready for both teams to use. Oh, that smoke forced Memphi to peek out through it. Lightning reflexes, able to take out Burke. First time in a few rounds the Barracudas have had the early advantage.
Nice little wall there. It's gonna be hard to get on the side. You can just see Avian just spraying down. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Gets one.
Down B.
The Orcas have decided to use the Astral Roll in response. Korkos has made it onto the point,
left.
moving very slowly toward Boathouse. Catches Cypher while he's looking in his camera. He's now cleared off the point, enough time for the Orcas to get the plant down, and now that they're in a more defensive position on the post plant, this is where Astra shines.
Ooh, Arresta taking a ton of spray here. Ooh, the op misses though. Does end up getting 2v1, but they're still in a great defensive position. Our Surface and Korkles.
Throws out the blind smoke, focusing heavily on Boathouse.
Enemy remaining.
Korkles isn't able to take it. Oh, and Surface isn't able to get one of his defensive clutches. So it's going to be driven back to a 2-round game.
Looks like Avian even saving the op for his teammate. Well, if he bought you the Odin, it's only fair. This was a great sneak here by Korkles. I thought that might be enough for the Orcas to win the round, especially when Arresta made it 3v3, but this is just a great example of double pushing that we always talk about. Don't have to 1v1 Atlas and Prestige, just say, we'll 2v1 you, we'll 2v1 you, and we'll get the defuse.
I can't say how many rounds have been thrown away in a 3-1 situation because all 3 of them decide to go in one at a time. So, good, disciplined play by the Barracudas. At this point, still keeping it competitive. Orcas still look like they're fancying B. Oh, a Hunter's Fury brought out by the Orcas as well as their knives. It is going to pick up Prestige, so if one Sova can do it, the other can as well.
Not even the guy he was aiming for. He wanted to kill Memphi, but Memphi kind of baited it into Prestige, though there is Memphi getting one back. Burke does have the knives out. Those Surface with a nice little wall bang will take the op out of mid, and you can hear the comms where, hey, op's down, and Burke immediately sprints over to the op. He wants that one back.
Atlas is left all alone on A to defend this. He's going to have his location revealed, quickly taken out. More than enough time for the plant to go through by the Orcas. Barracuda's on the other side of the stage, and no opportunity for this Cypher to really use his neural theft either, so it's going to have to be a really tough retake 2v4.
Not only that, somebody is going to walk right into Burke's crosshairs.
Oh, the discipline! Oh, man, he did not fall for that jiggle peek for any millisecond. He just waited it out and got his double.
It was a huge round for the Orcas. Probably going to be an eco here for the Barracudas so that they can buy back on match point. And interestingly enough, I think in order to kind of avoid a massive comeback, Burke actually just left the op. which I think is a very interesting play. He could have easily just kept it, but I think didn't want to run the risk of dying and handing it right back over to someone like Memphis, so he ended up just letting the op rot on the ground after that round ended.
Well, it seems like the strategy for the Barracudas is quite the opposite of op in terms of ranged weapons. They've got a Judge and a Bucky that they have brought out for this eco round. So going to be looking to hold some close angles. Resta already throwing out their turret.
Placing swarm grenade.
Moving off to maybe pick up this Ultorp. They're 2 ticks away from their Killjoy, which would be huge at this point of the game. Gets the Ultorp, now only 1 away. And they're just going to be happy with that 1 ultimate point and leave.
Yeah, the rest of the team kind of waiting over by B. Avian was trying something there in B main. Oh, Memphis right here with the Judge as well. See if someone wants to peek him. Oh, he heard Corkles. He gets the kill and gets out for free.
You should run.
Killjoy thrown out by the Orcas. He's managed to charge it all the way up. Memphis has to reposition, gets out of there. No one detained by it, but it's enough time for the Orcas to move in as a team. Unless the knives take him out, Memphis in midair is able to get it. And now the Barracudas do they have enough time to stop the Orcas from planting? They're halfway there. The plant is still going to go down by the Orcas, but they're down 1 in this defense. Now Rio brings it back to 3-3. Atlas getting 1 onto Rio. Now it's 2v3. Can Surface pull off the clutches that we know him for? He's going to have to do it 1 on 3 at this point, and they're going to charge him. He picks up 1, and that's all he's going to get. Quite an exciting round for the Barracudas, bringing it back within 2.
Yeah, everything kind of came together there.
Money?
Great job by Memphis with that knife kill in midair. And what did that kill allow his team to do? It allowed Sunny Lee to get that neural theft off because that body was up away from everybody else. And once it's a 3-on-3, even when you're outgunned, if you have a neural theft and you know they're not moving, makes everything so much easier. This is a great job by the Barracudas, kind of comboing all of their ults together to pick up a much-needed round win.
This is going to mean no more eco for them at this point. In fact, they're going to spend all their credits with gusto. Going back for that Odin. Avian wants that thing back.
Hi! We're good.
Corporal's ult already, but not even going to be able to get a zap off as he just goes down. Great job by Sunny Lee with the cameras. Now it's a 4-on-5 already for the Orcas.
But look at this, there's no one holding down B, and the Orcas, quite serendipitously for them, are able to charge through, at least onto B site,
Out of the chat.
before the Barracudas can rotate over. But despite the slow rotation, Prestige still making it work with a double. 2 left for the Orcas. Surface with a double himself. Now it's back to a competitive game. He has just enough time to plant here.
Swarm grenade out.
Also has the Astro Wall if he so chooses.
You are divided. Placing
And
There it
yep,
is.
he
The wall
does
goes
indeed
down.
choose.
Oh, this is a nice little spot from Foresta too, just on the other side of the wall.
Oh.
As I say that, Avian
player standing.
calls him out, but Surface.
Oh, ace opportunity. Can he get it? This would be his round if he could. Hanging out in the smoke.
Oh.
Odin is sneaking by him. It's Arena around the Rosie. Oh, he gets spots him out of the corner of his eye. Too late. Atlas getting that round.
Surface. Absolutely insane play, but just not enough. Nearly had the ace, and now it's 11-10. And unfortunately, Corkle's just kind of going down, throwing that ult away. Avian kind of expecting Foresta to be in that spot, and then Atlas just barely scoping out Surface. And now this gets going to be tight, because I don't know how much eco the Orcas have in the bank for this round.
They had enough to last themselves a few rounds, and this would be kind of one of the worst rounds to have to eco on, because Barracudas win this and we're into effective overtime.
Have to see what the Orcas come out with. Memphis picking up 1.
Burke trades that back.
Trade that right back. Is Sunny Lee over there in the cage? Sunny Lee finds 1, but he gets caught in the reload.
Last player
It's down to a 2-on-2, making it 2-on-1. It's all up to Burke. He's suppressed. It's right below Prestige. I think Prestige knows he's there, trying for the wall bangs. The Aldrone going to come in, but it ended up running out of time just before. One shock dart misses.
Oh!
Burke gets one.
Oh!
Avian with the Guardian clutches it, and it's 11-11.
All these last few rounds have been decided by just one person. And all the rounds also, the last few rounds, have been one person from the Orca still alive trying to clutch it out. But ultimately, it's a numbers advantage that works out for the Barracudas. We've gotten to 11-11, so now someone has to win by 2. And we were wondering, Fish, you were asking how long the Orcas could eco through it. This round answers that. One of them's going to be forced onto a Bulldog.
One Bulldog, one Spectre. I was wondering, because I was going to say, if you have to eco now, but at least get a 3/5 AR and a couple of SMGs, and they trade 1-for-1 already. Burke can make it back there onto Prestige, and they can. B-sites open, and this could be the opening the Orcas needed.
Unfortunate whiff on that flash grenade. Force that KO to get out of the way, to flick away. Unfortunately, he was right in the doorway when that happened. Memphi, though, gets Foresta. We're back to even. Surface with a triple of his own. Burke picks up Sunny Lee. Now it's 3-1 in favor of the Orcas. Make that 2-1. This Astra now still has their wall, so could choose to use that. Might save it for the next round. Atlas throws out the blind onto Boathouse. But he's caught at 2 different angles to peek. Very difficult situation for him. And Rio's going to take him out.
It does.
Last player standing.
Spike does take out Real, so that'll be that'll put him in an interesting spot, but great job by the Orcas. They get to match point. I think now the question's on the flip side. What do the Barracudas have left in the tank? And you can see with the Judge and a couple of pistols, the answer is not much.
Looks like we have a bit of a tech pause being brought out, of course, at the best possible time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. Now, neither teams are in a great spot for a 12-11 game.
Memphi making the Judge work. It's only going to be 1 for him as the knives take him out.
Shock dart.
Get the plant down. The shock darts almost just missing, but you've got Killjoy, you've got the Astro Wall. This is going to be a tough retake if you're the Barracudas.
Yeah, the Killjoy just at this point, for the time that it can stall, the Astro Wall is going to head out as well as the Killjoy. I mean, that takes a whole 10 seconds away from the Barracudas.
Atlas does fire. Ooh, a double with the Swarm Grenade! That might do it just regardless of the Killjoy.
And they're detained. Yeah, that's it. One shot with the knives, and that does it. Orcas finding their first victory.
End the series, get us to a game 4. Well, you know, going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We saw that with the Orcas, a brilliantly played final round to avoid the sweep and extend the series. Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Give a shout out to Coach Halter. And if you're watching, haven't checked out the Esports Tower clubs yet, you should. It is the fast track to rank up. Orcas survive. They avoid the sweep, and they get the win on Ascent. So now that means we're going to game 4, and we're heading off to Bind, Jacob. We'll see. The Orcas have a game 5 ready in the club championships, or can the Barracudas right the ship and pick up the win and be crowned Fall Valorant champions? We'll find out right after this break. Game 4 on Bind coming up right after this.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Welcome back into this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble. We are potentially one game away from crowning our Esports Tower Fall Club champion, or maybe two, depending on what the Orcas have to say about it. Fish and Jacob here calling all of the action on Ascent. It was a nail-biter to the very end, but the Orcas came out on top 13-11 to win their first game of these grand finals and get us to game 4 on Bind. And I mean, it's been a back-and-forth series. Felt like it was all Barracudas last week. This time, the Orcas squeak one out, Jacob. So what are you feeling going on to Bind? Are we getting game 5, or do you think the Barracudas end it all right here, right now?
No, that's a tough ask, especially because you kind of got the wild card that's Surface going on for the Orcas right now, and you mix that one wild card with just the wild card that's built into Bind with all those teleporters, and I'm not quite sure. I really can't call it either way because there's so many factors here, and the Orcas have some explosive players that can bring a round back all by themselves.
Well, before we kick off Game 4, we do want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarship across the country over the last year. Esports Tower Club members have received over $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities that these players are getting. Well, we head into a Game 4, a do-or-die situation for the Orcas. We always got to have Doc's keys to the game, which are flank efficiently, which is something Surface did very well. Spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and of course, at the end of the day, it's Valorant. It's as easy as just simply clicking heads. Doc's keys, presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Do the Orcas have a Game 5 in mind for next week? Can the Barracudas end the series right now with their second chance to be crowned Fall Club champions? We head over to Bind, and while we do that, you should head over to Vitamin Shop. They have everything a gamer could need. Check out the QR code now for some amazing offers. Game 4, Jacob, on Bind. let's get ready to see if we have a Game 5 in store for the Orcas, which at that point, you're looking at 2 in a row. You're looking at maybe a reverse sweep. Everything's kind of going in your favor. I think the Barracudas might need to end this series now, or they're going to be in trouble.
We'll see what the picks are being brought up from each team in terms of agents. We kind of were surprised a little bit with the Astra and Neon pick back on Ascent from the Orcas. So will they go for anything a little more unorthodox at this point?
That's not ready.
Well, we get the picks in. We have Avian back on his favorite chamber. I think Avian, probably one of the most sad players in Esports Tower after the chamber nerfs kind of took him away from must play, because that was an operator he made his bread and butter on. But he's back on it for Game 4, and I'm sure happy to be able to go back to that.
In terms of the duelists, we're going to have pretty similar picks on that as well. Both of them going with the Rays. The only difference we really see is the Viper that's being brought out by the Barracudas. Viper and the Cypher.
Ooh, AV with a great job. He repositioned after the dog hit him. He does just get the 1, but a great job to at least make it an even trade.
Prestige getting a little bit of a view onto Real. Real's going to take him out. Atlas is able to eliminate Surface. Down to 3-2. Oracle's bringing it to a 2 apiece. In fact, their spike is way off onto the other side. I don't quite know why they're rotating over to A when B was so open, but they're going to try to end it in A short.
Player standing.
Oh, Real gets a great flank, and Real says, you know what, I don't need to plant the spike, I just need to pick up a couple of kills, so of course try and get it down for the extra credits, but I don't think he made it in range in time. Yeah, it was definitely kind of weird, as you said. B was totally free, but we can't really argue with it because they still got the result they wanted.
As we head into round 2, we'll see what the Barracudas try to bonus with. We're already seeing an SMG being brought out by Real.
I feel like the SMG is kind of risky here. Or Teddy.
Looks like 3 Spectres, 2 Stingers.
Ooh, Burke, you're gonna get baited! Yep. Saw that one coming.
Bombot thrown out.
It's back to 4-on-4. Now Surface pick it up another. That's the problem with the hookah cheese that Atlas and company are trying. If no one else goes hookah, it doesn't really work.
Now talk about wide open points. A is just left gift wrapped for them as they take out Avian. That's going to be the spike successfully planted. The remaining 2 Orcas rotating up. Memphi with very little health as well. Atlas also not at full health, so at this point, Barracudas have both the health and person advantage.
Memphi gonna push up. Oh, it did see Real a bit on that jiggle peek, I think. Goal here is try just to get a couple kills. Try and hurt that bonus round as much as you can. That's down to a 1v1.
Come on.
It's gonna be fake.
Reload. Oh man, doesn't really have the time at this point. They just teleport away and take their win.
Second round picked up. Does look like the team names are backwards at the top. It is 2-0 Orcas, not 2-0 Barracudas. Now I'm curious what... Looks like, yeah, they're just going to have the 3 members with the SMGs in the bonus. Other 2 stick with pistols. So this should be a good round for the Barracudas to look to get back in it a little bit. Avoid going down 3-0.
Orcas moving over to go through B lawn for their push. Memphi is just hanging out. Gonna have to take a whole lot of them at once. They throw out the Hawk. It doesn't hit. He's able
Oh!
with the spray to pick up 3. My goodness. Memphi locking it down.
The spike is here.
I feel like Memphi has had at least one of those clips every single game in the grand finals, where it's a 1-on-3. That was a 1-on-4, and he picks up 3. Surface does get at least 1, and he will be able to take an AR for that. So, Surface in it with an AR and a 1-on-3. I don't think these are awful odds, especially after how he played on Ascent.
Dog is heading after him. Doesn't get the peek onto him, however.
I think a really long
30
wrap
seconds
around through Hookah. Prestige kind of looking in that direction. I expect him to peek this at some point. Oh, Surface with the flick.
Oh. Taking no time for Prestige whatsoever. Hawk is going to be thrown out and doesn't get it.
Nearly did it again. Surface.
This fight is
He would have done that. I don't know what to have said. The way he played on Ascent, he had a couple of rounds like that. Because they nearly lined up for him too, but this is just a fantastic play by Memphi.
Yeah, has the gun that you're going to want to spray at this distance with, uses that Phantom to its full advantage.
I need to blow something up.
Barracudas, the Cypher isn't even able to teleport away. All 4 of them met their end.
Looks like he's going to push through bathroom. Just saw Avian, but the lunge does miss from the dog. But Avian will lock that line down. Flash going to go out. Does get the audible cue that he blinded him. Paint shells as well, and let's throw the Roomba for good measure. All of the util goes out, and a simple smoke sends them running backwards.
All of that util for only 1 pick, which could be enough actually for the Barracudas, because that's a trade that they're going to be willing to take, forcing all that util out from the Orcas and still coming ahead by 1 pick, defending. Quick tripwire thrown down, as well as a camera from Cypher. Keeping an eye over B.
Are going to push through. Burke with the satchel to at least try and gain some height. It looked like Atlas saw him, so somebody's going to have to keep eyes on Burke, who's looking for a nice little flank. Meanwhile, you got Sunny Lee Company. Here comes the showstopper. Memphi picks one up. And it's all up to Burke, who gets taken out. And just like that, it's 2-2 once again.
Once those initial eco rounds out of the way for the Barracudas, they're locking it down, especially if Memphi has the tools like the Phantom to be able to stop any of the pushes really onto B, since as long as he hangs out in the right places, there are no major huge long sightlines that he needs to take.
And you really got to wonder at the Orcas. They want to get creative because you know Bathroom's going to probably be held down by Avian. You expect over on B to be held down by Memphi, but he's actually mid this time. Nice little jiggle peek through the Viper smoke. Does kind of force him to retreat as he gave away his position. Down to Roomba. Sunny Lee gets the first kill with a nice spray into the smoke. Down to Burke.
Surface gets a pick with the Stinger. Back down to 4 apiece.
Out of charges.
Push going up through A short. They're actually taking both routes to try to dislodge Barracudas from A. Only thrown out into Baths. Avian picks Real. Barracuda's not really flinching at all to the Orca's push onto A.
You have Memphi's body pretty close in mid. I think that's what they're looking for. Yeah, I think you ripped the neural theft here if you're the Orcas.
I know exactly where you
Yeah.
are.
There it goes. I think that's a good call there. Get that ult on cooldown. Get it off when you can, because it is so hard to sometimes find that ult and a place to use it. There's going to be the Viper's Pit as well. Sunny Lee trying to spray down Surface, gets him to 20 HP, but can't quite find him. Spike will go down. The Prestige actually killed him just before he got the animation!
Seconds left.
That is probably the closest I have seen a spike plant go. Now Veresta, wrong place to grab that spike. He's gonna have to give the round over to the Barracudas. That was split second. That was down to, I think, hundredths of a second in terms of that spike. It was so close.
Yeah, that spike was probably knee level on the slam down. And what a clutch kill for Prestige. They didn't end up killing everyone else in the round, so really denying extra credits from the Orcas is potentially the biggest bonus. I don't think you're supposed to stare at those, Veresta. I do believe that can cause blindness if you look too long in the laser.
Don't stare at the operational end of the device. And this is also another device you don't want to stare in the operational end here, but they are able to bait out a shot with the dog, and that forces Avian with only 10 health to retreat away. Great counterplay on the tour de force.
Oh, he tried again. 10 HP is going to make everything a lot harder, so Burke does get the first kills, lob the paint shells, plus another bird goes out.
Oh,
That's going to get caught in the ult and ends up going down anyway.
4-3 favor of Orcas. They're going to take the rotation onto A, which is open for them. They smoke off the sidelines. Plant goes through. The stim is going to go through in heaven. A lot smoked off for them, however, so not too many. They're going to have to try to find out where the Barracudas are hiding, where the Orcas are hiding.
Well, that tells me Surface has a lineup here. Based off that angle, as Atlas does find one. Nice blind goes out. There's the...
Not quite.
Didn't matter, but...
Yeah, that's...
Not quite the lineup you thought it was, Surface.
I sure real say, hey, Surface, you need to... But this was just, I love the play here against this tour de force, because both using the dog and the Roomba, both of the times he kind of fell for it.
That's what utility is for. Now it's 3-3, and it's... I mean, this is such a fitting grand final, because, I mean, these teams just feel so well matched. It's hard to say who has a real edge, because I feel like every time a team like the Barracudas wins 2 in a row, you still 3 in a row, and you feel like they're maybe going to pull away. The Orcas answer right back. Now Avian says, okay, I don't have a tour de force anymore, but what if I do one better? I have the operator. But he didn't take any damage this time. He still full health this time.
Okay, he still has another chance, but my goodness. Don't shoot at every little thing you see. Okay, he doesn't get caught out by the Roomba at that point.
Real over in Hookah trying to spray through any boxes.
Thrown out onto Bass. That's a great lineup there on the snake bite.
I've got your trail.
Seekers deployed.
One enemy
Prestige
remaining.
picks up. 2 and only 1 left for the Orcas. It's Rio hanging out, and Hookah gets a double himself. He's gonna stem up. Atlas trying to get the flank on them. They're gonna try to pinch him in from both ends. He has enough time to plan, so he'll get the credits from that. Nightfall brought out. He's an ultimate.
One enemy remaining.
Rio still standing. Oh my goodness, he almost brought it out.
He nearly clutched it. Luckily, Sunny Lee was there. Sunny Lee gets the op. Sunny Lee once again has a huge round for the Barracudas, coming in as a sub, and has really had some impressive performances so far in this series. Picking up quite a few clutch plays like that one right there to prevent Real from, I think it would have been a 1v3 clutch at the very end, maybe even a 1v4.
Orca's going to be forced onto an eco round as we see some Steiners being brought out, as well as a Marshall. And Avian is going to be holding down A short with this op. Still has it from last round. Oh, almost gets it! Man, he hasn't found the op shots he wanted quite yet.
Well, Sunny Lee says, you know what, I got you, don't worry. Let's just pretend you hit that one.
In the end, if you still win the round,
If your teammate kills the guy you shot at, it still counts as an op kill. Unfortunately, Sunny Lee and Atlas are both going to fall. Real's going to get another one with the close range op shot. Now it's up to Prestige and Memphi, the dynamic duo.
Last player standing.
Now it's just up to Prestige and Resta with his own op.
actually, I think he
4-4.
picked up Avians. Yeah, he picked up Avians.
You are right.
And Thrifty comes through for the Orcas. Now we're back to where we started, 4 apiece. And I gotta say, this chamber for Avian, he hasn't quite found it yet. He's been struggling all these 3 rounds on this Sentinel, and now he has his op taken away from him. They're gonna have to focus on an all classics round. 1 sheriff brought out by Sunny Lee, but at this point, Orcas have basically flipped everything on its head.
Scout destroyed.
Interesting thing for the Orcas is they don't have a great opper. Currently, it is on the Cypher, as Resta does pick up that kill onto Avian. Neural Theft is going to go out for the Orcas as well. And that'll help Burt get the kill onto Atlas. Now we'll see what Prestige and Memphi can do this time with just pistols. Dog is going to land with the concuss, but he had a teammate behind him.
Mully is going to lock down narrow hallway, and he can't take heaven with that shorty he's got. So that's just going to fall apart, and the Orcas go back into the lead.
Eco round, kind of, I think, expected there for the Barracudas. Good news is I do believe they got out 2 of the Orcas' ults. I believe they got Real's ult as well as the Neural Theft, so you'll take that, I think, when you're on the eco. If you can't win the round, at least get a couple of ults to flip in your favor, especially some of those longer charging ults.
As we head into round 10, Memphi already getting a blind up from Hookah, putting a dent in the Orcas' initial push, so they're still focusing on B. Seekers is going to be brought out by Barracudas. Oh, he's caught! Oh, he was caught picking up the ult orb. He gets hit with one of the Seekers.
Prestige just behind that corner. Kind of everybody knows where everyone is at this moment, though Memphi might have a nice little cheeky angle here. We'll see if Surface decides to peek it or not. Oh, neither of them saw each other. Memphi now does get smoked out. Nice little flash on Atlas as well, but Prestige and company will gun down Surface finally.
Trades back and forth, but Barracuda's maintaining a 2-person lead.
Last player standing.
And yeah, unfortunately not going to do much with an op in that situation. And now the op gets handed right back over to, I would assume, Avian.
I think at this point, yeah, it might have just been a better thing for maybe the Cypher at that point to not stick in Hookah. If he thought he could get away, maybe just throw that op away or do something with it, because Avian is going to be thinking his lucky stars he gets that back. He's only going to have 2 rounds to use it, however, as we're almost toward halftime.
We're definitely feels like trending towards a 6-6
There
half.
he
This
goes.
time Avian finds it.
He was looking
That's a
for
huge.
that. Better late than never, I suppose.
It's only a matter of time. The tour de force and the op, and let's say about a quarter of the rounds. It's only a matter of time before Avian hits his mark, and you're already down a member.
Avian
Looking
trying to
for
get the
somebody else to
narrows.
peek.
And find it, those Molly and Brim smokes. Hey! And he is able to pick up for Resta. Sees just the hat of Cypher, and that is enough for him to take him out.
See if Real wants to be victim number 3 to that mid-op. Yes, he does. And with that round. We've forgotten about all the missed shots. As Avian maybe give him 4 on the day. Yeah, let's give him 4. A flawless for the Barracudas, and Avian is alive and well with that op. Maybe we should just trash that op.
Round in the
Maybe.
half.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Makes us look back at that last thing. The good news for the Orcas is there were only 2 possible rounds that he could pop up with that op. This is 1, so at least they have the solace of knowing at the end of this round everything will be reset. Last chance for the teams to use the 2 ultimates they still have.
This feels like if you have a satchel play, if you're Burke, if you can maybe predict where you think Avian's going to be, I think it's worth launching the Showstopper. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. Unfortunately, no one was there, but I still like that play from the Showstopper, even though it whiffed.
Surf is going to get time to plant onto B. Everyone resetting from the Barracudas. And the Viper's Pit also used by the Orcas as soon as they plant. Memphi gets his first pick onto Burke. Up in heaven, Avian is going to drop down to ground level, try to pick something up. Oh, just 1 health left for Memphi.
Did unfortunately
He
walk
just
around.
runs right
Player
into the
standing.
snake.
You tried. He's like, well,
He was like,
You
well,
can't
hey,
hurt me."
if I'm at 1 health, the Viper's Pit can't hurt me. So,
exactly. But the
Switching
the
sides.
utility can, but the Barracudas pick up the round. Now it's 7-5. This is really the first separation we've seen since those pistol rounds. And we'll see if the Barracudas can hold on, or if the Orcas can find a way to get us back to 7-7, which at this point just feels inevitable.
I think the biggest lead that we saw was toward the very beginning of the night was a 4-1 lead that the Barracudas had over the Orcas, and the Orcas were able to grab that back. Those are some sneaky tripwires.
Big shout out to the spectator there, because, yeah, that is a very interesting tripwire angle. Kind of making Hookah turn into a prison at this point. Memphi does push forward into Hookah. Him and Burke both going to kind of throw out their raised utility, though Burke didn't quite guess the right angle, and Memphi will pick up that kill.
Sonny Lee still deciding on where he wants to put those smokes. Now Barracuda's coalescing around A short. Rio's going to try to hold things down with this molly, but those paint shells are already going to force him back. That's a whole lot of space given up to the Barracudas. Going to try to go through the smoke! That Viper's blinded, but isn't able to take it.
They do get the spike down as Prestige picks up 1, so it is back to a 4-on-3. Some nice healing coming out, though, from the sky to help out the Orcas members. Oh, saw him. Oh, but Real's going to push you as Corkles gets a double. Sonny Lee just trying to bait Avian. Over there in bathrooms. They're both trying to hang on. Sonny Lee gets 1.
Enemy remaining.
Sonny Lee finds another, and they do it. The Barracudas hold on to make it 8-5 by 2 HP.
Now the question is, are they able to really pull away with it at this point and start an avalanche of momentum to drive them to the victory? Remember, Orcas went into tonight facing a reverse sweep situation. They already got one of those wins out of the way. Now things are once again looking against their favor. These Barracudas open up a 3-round lead.
Okay, win here. Hurt the bonus round. Maybe things are going in your favor. Orcas aren't quite out of it yet, and they started off this round with a great first blood on to Memphi. So Prestige answers right back with the Phantom, but he gets taken out. A very aggressive buy from Prestige, and it comes back to bite him as he doesn't survive much longer. Barracudas were going for the throat with this buy.
Last player standing.
Orcas just like that. A quick waterfall of 3 eliminations put it back in their favor. They're back within 2 rounds.
Back within 2 rounds. I think almost all of them, I think at least 3 of them were able to pick up guns from the Barracuda's corpses, including this Phantom. So that is a very big blow to the Barracuda's eco for a couple of rounds now, because I think this round was mainly free for the Orcas.
As the next round starts out, everyone from the Barracudas is spread out pretty evenly, although it looks like they are favoring A. Oh, Avian might try to keep B open as an option. None of the Orcas are really holding down Hookah, so he has a bit of space to move up. First elimination by Burke onto Prestige.
And there was a spike as well. That was a very aggressive push with the spike. That's going to make things a whole lot more difficult because now there's a Molly on the spike. Real's got a pretty decent lineup on it as well, I think.
Satchel out.
They ended up getting the spike, though, luckily for the Barracudas, so their hopes are alive, and we're going to get a teleport here from Cypher? No, he was just making sure everything was safe on B.
30 seconds left.
Barracudas, due to that unfortunate spike drop at the beginning of this match, have not been able to really comfortably rotate over to B. Avian is able to get a pick onto Corkles, but the timer is very low for them. They got to get that planted. Burke takes out Avian as well as Rio getting Atlas. I don't think the spike's going to be able to be planted for the Barracudas. Orcas now back within 1.
Even no spike denial, even just to deny the bonus credits as well. I think this one nearly as close as the other spike deny we saw on this map, but the round a little bit more predetermined by the time Sunny Lee gets taken out, so not nearly as exciting. It's just a great job holding down A. You see the power of Cypher on a map like Bind. He can just basically solo B. Now it's 8-7, and I still think the Barracudas are going to be in a very weird spot. They should be able to buy this round, though.
Trepidatiously pushing up to Hookah, throws out paint shells. Bunch of utility thrown through the mid teleporter. One of the Barracudas gets into the teleporter, just in case someone tries to go through.
Surface doing a great job solo holding Hookah, though this time might come to an end. He does get one, but ends up being traded out.
Now Barracuda's heading back toward A, where there's only one left defending. He's getting some backup, though. Burke's teammates are coming back over toward A. Burke's been great at defending this particular point.
Seekers did go out. Another 1-for-1 trade. The spike does go down, as the rest of the cavalry is here from spawn, and Quirkle's the first one to go down to make it a 3-on-2. Oh, Avian gets rest up in heaven, and now it's all up to Real. He gets taken out. The Barracudas shut down the win streak and move back up by 2.
Very important win for the Barracudas. I also like here in Hookah, he basically had nowhere to move. I think their Brim had nowhere to move as he was caught out by some util, but just kind of stood his ground and was able to make it a 1-for-1 trade. At that point, that was kind of really consequential for keeping the Barracudas at a good spot for being able to contest pretty darn evenly in terms of manpower.
Another full buy for both squads here. I think gonna try and catch Real out, but I do believe he snagged that alt orb over there in Bath before anyone on the Barracudas could get to him.
Rest to keep and watch. Viper's wall is thrown out. Avian's gonna have a tough angle to peek through. Viper's wall is exhausted. Ryuto thrown out by the Cypher. Wall goes back up. B is pretty heavily locked down. Barracuda's just trying to wait out all of the site denial.
You get the first pick as they find one kill onto surface, so that'll help with a lot of that denial. No more Viper's wall. Pink shells do go out, but
Face your fear!
have been able to be found, and here comes Atlas with his ult as Memphi gets taken out.
Avian moving, a lot of them teleport over to A quite quickly. Real's the only one holding it. Is going to buy some, trying to buy some time for himself and his teammates by throwing a molly out into baths. Hawk heads out, does not blind Prestige, and that's a very key pick.
One enemy
With
remaining.
the orbital strike onto Atlas, I don't know if they have enough time to plant now. They have to do it just on eliminations, but that Cypher realizes there's no reason for him to peek out at that point. They're just going to have to settle for the slight extra credits boost.
Have you seen a game with now, like, this is what, the third time the Spike carrier's been killed mid-plant to determine a round? This is
it really
crazy.
is. And both those times, it's really left no time for the attacking team to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Orca held all the cards, had the time advantage. That brings it once again back to within just one round.
Go get it.
The thing the Orcas are still looking for is that round advantage. They haven't had it since winning the first 2 rounds of the game. Surface does get this kill. Him and Memphi have been having quite the battle in Hookah for, I'd say, most of this half.
Ultor picked up by Prestige, bringing him within one of the Seekers again. Seekers available for the Orcas. There's only one member of the Barracudas trying to push up through baths. Location's gonna get revealed onto Corkles. He has to retreat a little bit. Dog thrown out. And a pick around the corner for Prestige and Atlas. They're gonna immediately pop the Seekers on that elimination. They want to try to plant onto B. They are gonna just get the plant out. No last minute eliminations here.
Ooh, we might have a nice little flank. Burke and Real trying to take the long wraparound, though Avian right there pre-fires the smoke, so they are going to know he's there. Ooh, and Real with a nice headshot. The 2-on-2, but Sunny Lee with the collateral! Makes it 10-8. Are somehow Jacob's second AR collateral of these grand finals.
I haven't seen too many collaterals, but the one that you do get, it's at the most crucial time. At that point, it looks like that double peak swing was just a bit ill-timed and instead lined them both up in the sidelines. Now just 3 wins left for the Barracudas. They will close out this series. Avian gets their first sideline smoked off, takes one shot through to try to prevent the ult orb from getting gotten, but Orcas do pick it up.
Do have a couple of ults they'll probably need to end up using here. They want to even this round with mainly stingers at their disposal. You see a ton in Hookah, a couple of wall bangs there, one for Prestige, one for Atlas, and that's going to help open up B, though you do have Burke here. A sneaky little flank. Just a pistol. Dog. Oh, did see him, unfortunately. He tried to satchel away with the concuss, which is too strong.
One enemy remaining.
Memphi eliminates Coracles. Real is the only one left. I don't really have anything to save with either. Just one little friend. Yeah, he just resigned himself at that point.
11-8 now, and this is a very interesting decision because if you're the Orcas, where are you on this, Jacob? Because if you're the Orcas, if you buy here, you're probably ecoing on match point. But if you eco, then you're going to have to buy on match point. It's a tough spot. Do you like buying here? Or do you think they should have saved it until the very, very final potential round?
Well, last game on Ascent, the Orcas were able to bring it to 11-11, so if you're going for that trajectory, I would suppose you have to try to buy here. They're going to be using the Showstopper Barracudas just to try to end it, so it doesn't matter. But Burke is able to get the pick onto Memphi. This is an important round for the Orcas to try to keep the Barracudas at bay. Rio's caught hiding behind. As he's caught up in the smoke, another elimination for the Orcas thanks to Burke. Now Rio gets one onto Atlas. Sunny Lee caught in A short with his teammate in Baths.
How about that for an answer?
Yeah. They pick up the flawless. They decide to go all in, and it pays out for them. So this game is gonna continue moving on toward the trajectory we saw last time.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully for the Orcas, they can tie it up 11 apiece.
Does sound like we have a timeout here, probably by the Barracudas, which I think is very smart. Either team really calling a timeout, I think, is very smart. If you're the Barracudas, you're kind of discussing, okay, how do we probably handle our ecos here and now, depending on how these next couple rounds go. If you're on the side of the Orcas, you're probably kind of discussing the same thing. I mean, even at 11-9, Jacob, this series still feels like it's too close to call.
Yeah, it's been really close throughout the day. It's been kind of an inverse of what we saw last time where, you know, the Orcas still put up a fight, but last week was much more in favor of the Barracudas in terms of how they just kind of plowed through the round. So to see things being brought up to, you know, 2 round wins or something like that, you know, 2-point wins, then it's really been competitive as the Orcas are fighting for their chance to keep playing into a Game 5.
Game 5 will be next week if the Orcas can get us there. Hookah's been a contentious battle all series long as the Seekers do come out from the side of the Orcas. Doesn't look like they're quite able to find anyone, though. There goes Memphi on the site, into the cage.
Man,
tries to get away, but...
Yeah, there was so much util down the Molly. They moved through a tripwire as well to just charge right onto B, but that does not work out in favor for them whatsoever. They get mowed down by all the damage and the info given over to the Orcas. Prestige finds himself in kind of an unexpected place. He's going to rip the Seekers right here. Try to take the 2-on-1. Does look like he got a dink onto one of the Orcas. He's going to have to get a tough headshot either through Hookah or take Corkles on first. Good news for him is he has plenty of time.
Oh, he barely missed seeing Corkles there. In no surfaces in Hookah.
30 seconds left.
I got the spike.
Looks like that's the spike. Corkles the first victim. Finds him. It's a 1-on-1.
He's going to go through with the plant. Surface is given the time over to him. The plant is successful. Goes out a Poison Orb. Going to be moving back into the hallway. Gets a peek onto Surface. Tension thick enough to cut by the knife, and Prestige pulls it out, driving the Barracudas to a match point.
No way!
That was a 1-on-3.
That was insanely clutch.
I thought for sure, I mean, the Barracudas, they just charged right into the Molly, past the tripwire, into the orbital strike as well. I mean, everything, the Orcas, it looked like they had it all wrapped up. And then Prestige just, I'm shocked at how he even got to this angle. He just snuck his way into hole and took him all the way, took him off.
Looking back, probably would have made sense to use the Viper's Pit there if you're Surface in that 1-on-1. Give yourself more coverage. Have to see, he's probably got to use it this round if he wants to be safe.
Nice call. And Showstopper in response.
Oh, you had an angle.
He did, but in taking that shot with the showstopper, fully reveals himself to the Haunt.
Ooh, this is a nice little smoke here from Real over in Baths. Looks like maybe we had a couple of teleport fakes there from Prestige and Avian as they went through the teleporter from B to A, but now are going to run back. But they baited. Look at that. Everybody rotated except for Varesta onto that A site. It's going to be a 5-on-1. He does have a ton of utility, but if they can get a kill...
Oh, this is a very
They blinded him.
call by the Orcas, unless Varesta can clutch it. He does get one. Now going up against the Chamber, 2-on-1 there. They trade for one apiece. Now the Orcas realize they have to go back toward A. It is enough time for the Barracudas to plant.
Spike planted.
Shots being exchanged through the smoke into Hall. The Viper's snake bite thrown out onto the hallway door. Means that Corporal's gonna have to take a long rotation over to the elbow.
Nobody holding this angle. Might open up Atlas as Memphi goes down. 3-on-3. There's the Viper's pit. Surf is able to pick up that one. Gonna start with the defuse.
Oh, but they
He's
have
gonna
the
pop
orbital strike.
ult.
Yeah,
Tried to just stick it.
wasn't able to, and
One
with the
enemy
Viper being
remaining.
taken out, that means that Viper's pit is gone. Barracudas pull it out,
Attackers
13-9 in the final.
That the Barracudas are your esports tower fall club champions. Don't forget, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team channel managers, and game producers to join the club. Esports tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Big congratulations to the Barracudas. Coming up with a win here. Again, maybe came in as the favorite with an all-star cast of characters, but you still got to get it done on the virtual field. That's exactly what they did. A 3-1 win. So they are your fall club champions over the Orcas. Was prepared to wrap this one up, put a bow on these grand finals. We do have our player of the game. I think a lot of deserving nominees. Jacob, where are you going to look here for your player of the game tonight?
Oh, I mean, I could give it over to Surface because Surface had some great clutches, but I almost have to think if I'm going to give a never give up award to a player, then I might want to highlight Avian because he had so much trouble in that second round trying to get those op shots and then absolutely popped off later into the game, picking up a quad for himself. So if there is like an endurance award, I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, I think Surface probably deserves a shout out. I think Real in that game 4 as well with, I believe, over a 2+ KD. It deserves another mention from the Orcas. I think really everyone from the Barracudas kind of popped off. It makes it hard, but I think you got to give it to Prestige. That final 1v3 clutch to kind of win them the round. But it will instead be
yes,
Mr.
this
Memphi.
1v4. This was insane. Normally moving in as a team like that. I mean, they all move in at the same time, but they fail to check the one angle that Memphi is hiding out in.
And Memphi had a ton of. Remember at the start of these club championships, we even said the game plan for the Barracudas is you gotta kill Mr. Memphi early. He is going to be able to get 1-for-1 trades, 1-for-2 trades, apparently 1-for-3 trades at times, and that's exactly what he did. So big congratulations to Memphi. He is the player of the game tonight, helping the Barracudas claim that fall club championship with some spectacular play. But I think the rest of the Barracudas also deserve some praise because it was really a team effort. Felt like everybody had their moments tonight, and they really earned that club championship victory.
Congrats to Memphi and the Barracudas as a whole for winning that. That was very close, though. It seemed like the Orcas could pull it out at any time. They did manage to take one game away from them. But ultimately, the Barracudas still remaining as the undisputed grand champions of Esports Tower.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe if you win that game for the Orcas, we have a Game 5 next week. You're on that 2-game win streak. All the momentum is on your side. I think the Orcas probably would have been favored, but as you said, the Barracudas slammed the door. And congratulations to all of our teams on an excellent season of Valorant here in the fall season. The Barracudas are your fall club championships. They take down the Orcas, but we will still wrap up the fall season next week. Got a pair of fun little show matches that you are not going to want to miss out on. It's our final fall rumble of the season coming up next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll close out with our top 5. Again, join us next week as we say goodbye to the fall season, and we'll see you guys for some more Valorant next Monday. This could be the first break round here with their full buys.
Trying a bit of a roll there. Atlas, he's going to be the one taken out by Rio. Now, Rio is detected, but it's not even going to matter for him. He picks up his triple. The Orcas now going to have to be a really tough retake.
Somebody is going to walk right into Burt's crosshair.
Oh, the discipline. Oh, man, he did not fall for that jiggle peak. Any. Drop down to ground level. Oh, just one health left for Menthby. Just runs right into the state.
You try. He's like, well, the... long wraparound. The AV is right there. Fires the smoke. We are going to know he's there. Ooh, a real nice 2-on-2, but Sunny Lee with the collateral.